Well, hey there guys. In today's video, we will contemplate the impact that Eddie Van Halen had on the rock and roll world. And we're also going to ask the question, how technical is too technical? This is RHR Riffs. Well, hey there guys, this is RHR Riffs, the rock and roll guitar channel for the self-taught. I'm sure by now everybody is aware of the passing of Eddie Van Halen. He passed away on Tuesday, October 6th here of 2020. You know, the impact that Eddie had, if you were there in the day, you'll remember how much of an impact he had. It was gigantic. When Van Halen came onto the scene, it was kind of like the same thing as Jimi Hendrix coming out. You know, it was that big. It was such a huge impact. But of course, you know, without the Jimi Hendrixes and Eric Claptons and Jimmy Pages, there probably wouldn't have been an Eddie Van Halen as we knew him. Just like today, there wouldn't be the Paul Gilberts and Joe Satriani and on and on and on, without the Hendrixes and without the Eddie Van Halens and Jimmy Pages and on. Now, I probably wouldn't have a Floyd Rose on my guitar if it wasn't for Eddie Van Halen. No question. In those days, everybody had to sound like Eddie. You just had to. And I did my best when we were playing Van Halen songs to try to make it sound like Eddie. You had to almost in those days. It was like a prerequisite. But there was also a very dark side to that fame. And I've noticed that both through Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen. Especially back in the day, say it was like a few years after Van Halen had really hit the scene. I started to hear a lot of like vitriol and nastiness and meanness and anger and just hate for Eddie Van Halen, and I never understood that. People would say, oh, that's not Eddie doing the background vocals, that's Michael Anthony. Okay, cool. And other people would just be violent almost about it, saying how much that Eddie had ripped off Jimi Hendrix. Oh, he's just a rip-off, he's just a thief, and people would get angry about it. Strange. And you kind of see some of that type of stuff on YouTube once in a while too. It's just some strange behavior. And what causes that? Well, you know, your guess is as good as mine. But that comes with fame. Nevertheless, the impact, you know, it goes almost unsaid that Eddie Van Halen had on the rock and roll scene, the tapping, the trem bars, all that. He brought it on, and people still play that way to this day. Which leads us on to the next question I have. I've been meaning to make a video about this, and this seems to be the right opportunity, and that is, how technical is too technical as far as playing goes? How much does a guitar player or / musician need to know in order to be proficient with the instrument? Now, there are many great players who've said it again and again and again. Play by feel, play by feel. Jimmy was a big proponent of that. Was Jimi Hendrix a great technical player? No. Jimi Hendrix would tell you, no, he wasn't a great technical player. He was a soulful player. He played by feel. I'm going to add just a little bit of my own spin on that, and I'm going to say play by ear. Play by what pleases your ear or what it is that you're looking for. Listen. Use your ears and listen. And sometimes it takes a long time just to break something down to get to where you finally want to be. And that's part of the craft work of songwriting, or solo writing, if you want to call it that. And you know, you can be sure that Eddie Van Halen was definitely a master at that, as so many others are too. But that's part of the gig, is hit and miss, trial and error. Do you need to be a super technical player in order to do this? And I'd say to you, no, you don't. Once you become familiar with this instrument, the more familiar you become with it, now you could call that being technical, the easier it is to get to where you want to go. You can find things easier. Now, of course, connecting things like octaves and different types of scales and modes, that's very, very helpful as far as that goes. But personally, I don't want to think like a freaking mathematician or scientist of what I'm going to play next. No, I play by ear, or feel, as some would put it. So, I guess some technical can be too technical. It can sound robotic and repetitive again and again and again and again. How fast, how fast, how fast? That's not my question, because I went through that in my younger days. I was Mr. Speed Demon. And even then, but more nowadays, I think What can I sink my teeth into? Where is the groove? Where is that feel? That's what I'm looking for. Whether that be slow or fast or technical or speedy or very slow, whatever, what have you. I'm trying to play by ear. So that's my take, guys. All right, we really appreciate you joining us. Again, such a huge salute to Eddie Van Halen out there. I was never jealous of him. I never had any petty feelings towards him or the band. Why? What a waste of time. I just thought, what can I learn from this guy and take it and make my own, right? Which is, I'm sure, a lot of what he did too. Just like a lot of what all guitar players do. Or musicians for that matter. Alright guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next video.